Hi guys, it's Tom here. Good to see you again. I'm just doing a presentation today on the Portugal D2 visa, which is a great alternative for entrepreneurs. I think it may be the most straightforward entrepreneur visa for Europe, and this is why I think it may be of interest to you. So in this presentation, I'm going to go over everything you need to know, including the key timelines, both for applying for the visa itself, the process, and also for the time frame over a 5-year period, which is to permanent residence and citizenship, which of course in the case of Portugal is EU citizenship. For those of you who are thinking about coming as an entrepreneur to Europe now, and in particular looking at the UK, of course the UK following Brexit has left the European Union, and so after the transition period, you may be looking at having free access to other EU member states. And if you're going to be doing that, then you may want to choose a country other than the UK, or a country in addition to the UK to settle in, so that you have the full benefits of EU citizenship. That may be important to you. Of course, until we know the terms of the trade deal with Europe, we won't fully know the extent of free movement. It won't be free movement, but the extent of movement between the EU and UK. So I think this is particularly interesting. So let's just get right in. It's the Portugal D2 entrepreneur visa. Now you may have seen the golden visa routes and heard a bit about them. This is actually different, and it doesn't involve any investment, although you need to put some share capital into your business of about 5,000 euros. But it's not one of the other so-called golden visa routes. There are routes, for example, one through which you create 10 jobs. There are routes through which you invest various sums. One of the most popular being half a million euros, but this is different. This means setting up as an entrepreneur in Portugal. Let me just go to the text. And the application for a residence visa for immigrant entrepreneurs wishing to invest in Portugal is accompanied by a statement that you have carried out or intend to carry out an investment operation in Portugal, indicating that its nature, value, and duration, and proof that you've carried out investment operations, or evidence that you have the available financial means available in Portugal, including those obtained from institutions with financial contributions in Portugal, and the intention to do an investment operation in the Portuguese territory. So again, the difference here is that you do not have to have already invested, or you do not need to be investing a specified sum. You need to have the intention to invest into your business in Portugal. Now, the time frame for the actual visa processing is about 4 to 5 months, if we zoom in at the beginning of the time frame. So if we're here in March now, then this is the sort of time frame we'll be looking at. So I've put here from the 25th of April to 10th of September as that overall time frame. And then to begin with, you would need to prepare a business plan. So that's where the process would start if we began the project now. You then enter Portugal. Here I've put the example just on this example time frame as being in September. Make an appointment with SEF, which is the immigration authorities there, to get your residence permit, and then you would have your appointment in October. So it's not, I must say, it's not as fast as some of the other visa routes that I deal with on this channel, but in terms of actual visa processing, and it does involve you actually setting up the company first. In most of the visa routes that I cover on this channel, you get the visa first and then you set up your business. So generally you will apply at the Portuguese consulate office in your country of residence. I have a link which basically shows where you apply from. If you touch base with me, I can send you that. Incidentally, my contact details are below if you want any assistance with this route or with any other startup visa routes that I cover on this channel. I'd be very happy to have a free consultation with you. You can WhatsApp me, or for legal advice and assistance you can contact me by email, and my details are just below. Now, as for the documents you need, let's just go into them. So there is an official application form. You need a passport or other official travel document, travel photos, travel insurance. You need essentially proof of good character and that you're not in your country of residence now unlawfully. Criminal record certificate, proof of means of subsistence, so maintenance funds, and those are pretty minimal actually. You need roughly 580 euros for yourself, and then half of that for each dependent you're bringing with you. For migrant entrepreneurs, there's an additional requirement that you have investment operations executed. That is effectively that you've incorporated your company and have invested, and then proof of financial means available in Portugal, and of an intention to invest. And so that references the share capital that you're expected to have. You do need a business plan as well, but that business plan is not confined to tech businesses as with many of the other immigration routes. We're going to be doing another presentation on the startup visa for Portugal, which is actually a different visa route than this. This is not the startup visa. This allows you to set up any business. There's no restrictions on the type of business you set up, subject to if you're doing any form of regulated activity. Obviously you need to be compliant, but you can set up, in terms of example applications recently, they include a restaurant, for example, and also a tech business, but a tech business is not required under this route. So you can set up a conventional business. It also allows you to set up a arm of your existing business in Portugal. So you don't have to be setting up something completely new. You could set up an arm of your existing operation. I ought to add, importantly, in terms of the supporting documents, there's no requirement with a D2 visa, there's no requirement for Portuguese. You don't need to speak the Portuguese language. So you can come and just have English as your first or second language. I would say that there's a big startup and entrepreneurial community in Portugal, and English is widely spoken, and that does not present an obstacle for most people, the language, in terms of any language barrier. The fees are 90 euros for the visa application. A decision is normally made within 60 days, but as I say, there's that broader few months where which you need to take into account to actually set up. Once you're in Portugal, you set up an appointment with the immigration authorities, and then this is the overall time frame for your pathway to permanent residence and citizenship. So this is again just going from today, hypothetically. You would in year one reside for 4 months in Portugal, at least 4 months. So you can be abroad for the rest of the time, and then in year two it would be 6 months, year three 6 months, year 4 and year 5, and then you would need to be you need to make connections with the Portuguese community. I've just put here joining a club, and there's lots of ways that you can show connections for the purposes of then applying for EU citizenship. In addition to Portuguese, which is this is only for citizens.